America.
Alright, so today we're talking about the challenge in democracy in Africa, but I'm going to start out with colonial rule, how it limits democracy. So African nations are having a hard time setting up democratic governments because of the effects of colonial rule. And so European powers made borders in Africa that paid no attention to ethnic groupings. Like, they put people who disliked each other in the same area.
Whoa. They did that?
Yeah.
You cannot disregard the ethnic groupings. If you have rival tribes, they're just going to clash every now and then. You cannot just, dispose of the groupings. You need to focus.
I completely agree. It's causing so much conflict right now.
Well, also, I found out that the European nations they're just not setting up a middle class, or they're not giving working conditions for the workers, and that's just damaging the economy.
Yes, sir. And when Britain and France gave their African colonies independence, they gave them democratic governments. But problems soon arose between rival groups. And out of what I just said, what do you think? Name 3 things that have slowed down democracy in Africa.
Well, I believe a big one is that they disregarded the ethnic grouping. I mean, they set up borders where they wanted, and they just paid no regard, and it's just going to cause constant conflict. I also believe that since the European nations disregard it, they set up in Africa, they took all the natural resources, raw material, and they just did not want to set up the economy. And you cannot do that.
Yes,
you
sir.
must focus, you must buckle down if you're willing to set up a colony there. And third, I believe that the middle class, you need a middle class. You can't just have a wealth and a poor. Because obviously the wealth will triumph over everything. The wealth has money, the leaders will go to them, and it's just going to be chaos every day.
Yes, sir. Alright, well, thank you very much. We'll pass it on to Aj and Zach.
I'm Aj.
And I'm Zach. And I'm just going to give you a little information on Civil War in Nigeria of 1960. So, Nigeria became independent from Britain. It adopted a federal system. As we all know, a federal system, in it, power is shared between state governments and a central authority. But conflict broke out in just a few years. The people of one ethnic group, the Igbo, tried to break away from Nigeria in 1967. The Igbo lost in a 3-year civil war.
And I believe after this, right, correct me if I'm wrong, but after this, a period of martial law came into rule, because in 1979, Nigeria got an elected government.
Mm-hmm.
And some army officers said the government was corrupt, and the officers overthrew the government in 1983. But once in power, they treated the people from other ethnic groups terribly.
Oh yeah, didn't they they jailed descendants, opponents of government policy. The military rulers allowed elections in 1993, yes. But they did not accept the results of the elections and continued to rule the land. But I have a question for you. After what we just said, just to recap, what happened after Nigeria's civil war?
That's cake. Cake? Yeah, it's easy. Well, you see, after the Nigeria Civil War, a period of martial law came into rule because the government was corrupt, and the officers overthrew the corrupt government, and that's how it was settled.
All right, well, we'll toss it over to Donnie and Johnny. Thank you, Aj, and thank you, Zach. Now we will discuss South Africa under apartheid. As we know, an apartheid is a strict segregation between blacks and whites. In South Africa, the conflict was between races. A white minority ruled a black majority. In 1948, the whites put in place a policy, the apartheid, and black South Africans were denied many basic rights.
Isn't that when Nelson Mandela created and led the African National Congress? Their intention was to try to gain the African rights back from the apartheid, but terribly along the way they were imprisoned.
Yes. How did the apartheid end?
Well, there were many riots. There was boycotts on the South African goods, and African people, they just had it. They just wanted their rights back.
That's when they elected F.W. de Klerk took as president in South Africa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he released Nelson Mandela out of prison, and they gained their freedom.
That's how the story goes.
Yeah, in 1996, the new government approved new constitution. It gave equal rights to all South Africans.
That's a great ending.
Yeah. I guess we'll wrap it up like that today. Thank you, America. See you later.
I know what you're thinking. Here comes old Greg. He's a scaly manfish. You don't know me. You don't know what I got. I do watercolors.
I didn't say it.